We used to rail against mixing of sport and politics in any way, but these issues have become increasingly complex, vexed and ugly. Sport, political posturing, commercial pressures, identity politics, major power diplomacy and other issues are often overlapping now in our public debate and daily controversies. Think about taking a knee in the US or refusing to sing the national anthem here, gender issues, and the list, of course, goes on. But there are a few episodes playing out right now that I think are particularly unsettling. Let's start in Australia and the NRL Grand Final just over a week ago. Gold Coast Titans captain Ryan James, as an Indigenous player, was given the honour of delivering a welcome to country at that Grand Final, and unfortunately, it didn't go to plan for him.
Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have shared stories from generation to generation. Tonight, we come together on Gadigal and Wongal country. As a proud Bundjalung man, I'd like to acknowledge and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. As a game, we stand together, side by side. I'm lost.
Now, that can happen to the best of us. He just lost his thoughts and he got plenty of understanding support from people on the night, from the Prime Minister down, in fact. But today we learn one of the club's major sponsors, TFH Construction and Hire, has dumped its deal, reportedly blaming the team's poor performance and its skipper's grand final welcome to country stuff-up. A letter from the company director, Brett Thomas, said the embarrassing performance of Ryan James in his speech last weekend was offensive and weighed heavily on this decision. This is disgraceful, deeply unfortunate. As the company said, they had plenty of other reasons to drop their deal or criticise the club. Blaming James's welcome to country stumble is just uncharitable. If they're using it as cover to ensure they have sufficient grounds to quit their sponsorship, then it's pretty nasty and opportunistic. And if they really think a mess-up like this brings shame on the club, an incident that could happen to anyone and obviously has been deeply disappointing for James himself, then the company needs to grow up. In the US, we're seeing the great global strategic battle of our time play out on the basketball court, or at least on the sidelines. It all started when the general manager of the Houston Rockets, Daryl Morey, tweeted in support of the Hong Kong protesters. All he tweeted was, "Fight for freedom, stand for Hong Kong." Who could disagree with that? But China didn't like it. The NBA is opening up China as a massive sporting market. The NBA teams were playing in China at the time, and Morey was forced to back down and delete his tweet. The great NBA, a massive commercial operation that it is, kowtowed to the commercial pressure from a communist superpower. Welcome to the bizarre world of the 21st century. But cop this, LA Lakers star LeBron James, the biggest name in the game, he came out with lines that could have been scripted by Beijing.
Yes, we all do have freedom of speech, but at times there are ramifications for the negative that can happen when you're not thinking about others and you're only thinking about yourself. So I don't believe, I don't want to get into a word or sentence feud with Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke.
I think it's LeBron James who needs an education, and I think it's free speech that's under threat. Little wonder on the streets of Hong Kong now they're burning LeBron James's singlet. And I think the communists in Beijing have slam dunked the millionaire athletes in the land of the free and what should be the home of the brave. And one more example. Maria Folau has quit the Adelaide Thunderbirds and her playing future is uncertain. The New Zealand international drew heat during the season for supporting her husband Israel's fight against Australian Rugby Union over his homosexuals going to hell tweet. So there you have it, two superb athletes, both committed Christians, both at the top of their games, both under fire over their beliefs, and both possibly pushed or encouraged into retirement. Imagine if their problems emanated from some other faith.